Here's what's coming up on KRCG 13, live at 6.
A Jefferson City murder trial ends in a 1-hour deliberation. I'm Elizabeth Hoffman. Coming up, I'll have the details.
Next year's budget includes no state funding for Planned Parenthood. I'm Garrett Bergquist. Here, Governor Jay Nixon's thoughts on the subject.
I'm Mark Slavitt. In an exclusive report, Columbia Senator Kurt Schaefer gives KRCG a response to an investigation by the Missouri Ethics Commission.
It has been a very warm afternoon with lots of sunshine. We'll talk more about your weekend forecast. KRCG 13 live at 6 starts right now.
Live from across mid-Missouri, this is KRCG 13 live at 6.
Good evening. Jurors this afternoon reached a verdict of a not guilty plea for a Jefferson City man on trial for killing his neighbor.
KRCG 13's Elizabeth Hoffman joins us live from the Cole County Sheriff's Department with those details.
Kermit and Megan, Paris Alexander Henderson is a free man this evening. He was found not guilty on charges of second-degree murder, armed criminal action, and unlawful use of a weapon. He was released from custody earlier this afternoon. That was in the privacy of his family and friends. The 26-year-old was accused of killing 33-year-old Bryant Tank Sturkey in April of 2015. Now, jurors heard testimony from detectives, and they also watched video of police investigators questioning Alexander Henderson shortly after Sturkey was killed. Alexander Henderson said he shot Sturkey in self-defense, thinking that Sturkey had a gun. Public Defender Justin Carver spoke with us just after the verdict was delivered.
Knowing Paris, the first thing he's going to do is go home, hug his wife and children, and then he's going to go get a job and work and be a dad. So.
And Paris Alexander Henderson was found not guilty of second-degree murder, not guilty of armed criminal action, and not guilty of unlawful use of a weapon. Live in Jefferson City, Elizabeth Hoffman, KRCG 13.
A Jefferson City man's in custody after punching a police officer in the face this morning. The officer got in contact with Aaron Mosley about some active warrants. That's while Mosley was walking on East Miller Street. As the officer began to question Mosley, a struggle ensued and Mosley punched the officer in the face. He then ran off. Officers chased Mosley down and took him into custody. The officer that was punched is now back on duty after that incident. A woman's facing several charges after police chased her from Holt Summit into Jefferson City. Holt Summit police pulled over Christy Mickey over on Highway 54 near the Center Street exit after she made a U-turn on the highway. But she took off afterwards towards Jefferson City. Jefferson City police were able to pull her over on Missouri Boulevard. Mickey was arrested on suspicion of DWI, driving while suspended, careless and imprudent driving, resisting arrest, and several other offenses. She's being held in the Callaway County Jail awaiting formal charges.
And now, your KRCG 13 Weather Authority First Weather.
Well, we've had a gorgeous day today, lots of sunshine, and we are going to continue to find those clear skies across the area this evening. A live look right now over Jefferson City on our Scruggs Lumber camera showing blue skies off in the distance and some activity out on High Street. Statewide view, not much in the way of cloud cover. We still have a few clouds across Kansas, but around here we are going to stay mostly clear. It has been warm today in the mid to upper 70s are our current temperatures. We were in the 80s a little bit earlier. A mild night ahead. You won't need the jackets. In fact, with southwest winds overnight, we're going to start tomorrow morning off about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than where we've seen the last couple of mornings. We'll talk a little more detail on the rest of your weekend forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Zach. Planned Parenthood will not get any state funding next year.
The budget that Governor Jay Nixon signed today blocks that group's Medicaid funding. KRCG 13's Garrett Bergquist is live at the state capitol.
Governor Jay Nixon says he's concerned by the decision to cut Medicaid funding to Planned Parenthood. The Republican-led legislature didn't want any state money to go to organizations that provide elective abortion services. Senate Budget Chair Kurt Schaefer has said women can get specialized health services from other sources, such as county health departments. But Nixon says the decision could hurt women and the state's coffers.
Whatever they're doing, they're spending money we wouldn't have to spend. I mean, taking general revenue and putting it in there is far more expensive, and we are concerned about its potential to reduce access. But we've got to look at that.
Nixon this afternoon laid out his priorities for the final week of the legislative session. We'll explain those at 10. Live at the state capitol, Garrett Bergquist, KRCG 13.
In an exclusive new report tonight at 6, Columbia Senator Kurt Schaefer gives KRCG 13 his response to an investigation by the Missouri Ethics Commission.
KRCG 13's Mark Slavitt reports commission members will investigate whether Schaefer pressured the University of Missouri to block MU law professor Josh Hawley from running against him in the race for Missouri Attorney General.
This latest announcement reverses a decision made last week by the Missouri Ethics Commission. Commission members had said they didn't have the power or resources to investigate the complaint against Kurt Schaefer. A group called the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust made the complaint in April. The complaint alleges that Schaefer pressured the university to use its leave policy to prevent law professor Josh Hawley from running against Schaefer for Attorney General. Hawley eventually took a leave of absence and entered the race. Schaefer emailed this response to KRCG. The claims made by Professor Josh Hawley's secretly funded D.C.-based entity are completely false. At no point in time did I ever advocate for change in the University of Missouri's policies regarding leave. I did, however, urge the university multiple times to follow the policies they had in place. I look forward to Professor Hawley revealing who is paying to file these baseless claims. Hawley's campaign emailed this statement to KRCG. We had nothing to do with this complaint, so we can't comment on its substance or on the allegations against Senator Schaefer. We'll remain focused on sharing Josh's message of cleaning up Jefferson City with as many voters as possible. Schaefer continues to deny the allegations and said it was a ploy by Hawley's supporters to discredit him. In Columbia, Mark Slavitt, KRCG 13.
The Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust is a conservative watchdog group based in Washington, D.C. Governor Nixon today signed legislation ethics that impose a waiting period for Missouri officials who want to become lobbyists. The new law requires Missouri lawmakers and statewide elected officials to wait 6 months after their terms end. That's before working as paid legislative consultants. Nixon also signed a bill that prohibits candidates who become lobbyists from holding on to their campaign money. And the Missouri House went home for the week yesterday, but that's not before passing a bill with a number of provisions aimed at expanding access to firearms. New provisions include allowing full-time employees to carry guns on college campuses. The measure would also allow people to carry concealed guns on buses and other forms of public transportation, and a provision to ensure police can carry firearms at all times. The bill heads back to the Senate floor for approval. The deadline to pass legislation is May 13th.
A significant environmental problem and the financial burden attached to it appear to be resolved for some people living in southern Callaway County. Lawmakers have sent to Governor Nixon a bill which will allow the Callaway County village of Lake Mikey to become part of the neighboring town of Holt Summit. For years, the 130 families living in Lake Mikey have stressed over an out-of-date sewage lagoon system and the $1.5 million needed to get it into compliance.
Mr. President, House Bill 1684 would allow the city of Holt Summit and the village of Lake Mikey in Callaway County to consolidate. By
connecting to Holt Summit's wastewater system, the cost of improvements becomes bearable. But the idea needed legislative approval because the nearly 1 mile distance between the two communities exceeds the maximum allowed for consolidation without annexing all the land in between.
All we needed was for the state to say it's okay for you guys to do this because the conversations have already been had. So they're well on their way to making this happen.
The project still needs the governor's signature and a vote by residents in both communities. That could come as early as November, and Holt Summit City Administrator Ed Carlstrom thinks it's a slam dunk.
We're very excited about the chance to have an election on this and consummate the process.
Once approved, the people of Lake Mikey will have access to Holt Summit emergency services. That could cut some response times by 85%.
Doesn't spread you thin?
No. It's not that far away. It's not that big of an area, but you know, in the future budgets, if we need to add personnel or add some service that might be unique to that area, we'll be glad to consider it and probably get it done.
Karlstrom says it likely would be sometime in 2018 before a sewer line connecting Lake Mikey with Holt Summit could be completed and operational. Shelby Fest takes over downtown Jefferson City.
Still ahead on KRCG 13 Live at 6, we look at the events happening this weekend.
And now, your KRCG 13 Weather Authority forecast.
It is a gorgeous few days, and the weekend's going to be awesome for Shelby Fest.
Is it really?
That's what I'm hearing.
Zach?
They don't pay me to do the weather.
Well, you heard it from Megan, folks. That's exactly right. The weather this evening is great for Shelby Fest. If you are heading out in Jefferson City, we will find clear skies, temperatures falling back out of the 70s where we're at now and into the 50s tomorrow morning. So you might need a jacket early, but tomorrow morning, that's about 10 degrees warmer than where we've been the last couple of mornings. As far as cloud cover, we don't have much across the area here this evening. It is a pretty gorgeous night, dry, nothing showing up on the radar. Temperatures have been in the 70s, still in the 80s. Up to the north, a little cooler down for Fulton and even for Vichy at the Rolla Airport, 74, but really, can't really call that cool compared to what we've had. We've had some temperatures here the last couple days in the 50s, at least for a high temperature. Right now, still plenty of sunshine across Jefferson City, 79 degrees. Winds are out of the west at 7 miles per hour. The regional picture, very quiet over Missouri. Different story as you look up to the northwest towards Nebraska, Dakotas. Quite a bit of cloud cover there. For us, that area of high pressure is now actually shifted a little bit farther to the south, so we are finding a westerly to even a southwesterly wind, and that is going to continue overnight and into the first part of the weekend. So some good news. If you like the warm temperatures we had today, you're going to have some more tomorrow. In fact, a little bit warmer. Starting the day off with plenty of sunshine, warm temperatures. We could find a couple sprinkles north of I-70 as we head towards the evening on your Saturday. Otherwise, late Saturday into Sunday, we'll find clouds increasing across our area. Maybe a couple sprinkles early Sunday morning, but really we're going to be dry until Sunday afternoon. That's when we'll find a better chance for some of these showers and thunderstorms that late afternoon, early part of the evening. So if you do have outdoor plans, make sure you have a plan B or be able to move it indoors. Here's the forecast for tonight. Clear skies, comfortable, mild temperatures, right around 56 degrees when you wake up on your Saturday morning. For the afternoon, lots of sunshine, temperatures very warm. Winds out of the southwest, and it could be a little breezy at times, up to 15, maybe gusting to 20, but highs in the mid-80s. It stays warm through Sunday, highs close to 80 degrees here, but that shower and thunderstorm chance returns for the afternoon and evening time frame. That system will stall out early next week. As it does so, Rain and thunderstorms going to be likely for your Mondays. Temperature still in the mid to upper 70s. That system begins to move out of here. As we get into your Wednesday, we think we could find some lingering showers on your Wednesday morning. Temperature still in the mid 70s. More dry for your Thursday. And then Friday evening, as we get closer to next weekend, we'll find another chance for some of those showers and thunderstorms to return to the area. Really could use the rain. We're going to get a good chance at it early next week. But the good news is, predominantly this weekend, will be a nice, warm, and dry one.
And that'll keep those cars dry.
Absolutely. Those guys baby those things.
That's right. The name Carroll Shelby is just as important as the name Enzo Ferrari for many people, and the Shelby Mustang is making another appearance in downtown Jefferson City.
We'll show you the sights of the 10th annual Shelby Fest coming up on KRCG 13 live at 6.
I hope you can see me. I hope you can hear me. I don't know what that noise was, but it was really loud in my ear. Okay.
Organizers call it the greatest Mustang car rally on the planet, and it's in the capital city this weekend.
KRCG 13's Courtney Joden is live at the 10th annual Shelby Fest with more on what to expect this weekend.
Organizers call it the greatest Mustang car rally on the planet, and it's in the capital city this weekend.
KRCG 13's Courtney Joden is live at the 10th annual Shelby Fest with more on what to expect.
Yes, Megan and Kermit, the registration for Shelby Fest just wrapped up at the Capitol Plaza Hotel here in Jefferson City, and organizers say they wouldn't be surprised if 800 to 1,000 cars showed up to this year's Shelby Fest. It's been a great few days, and with wonderful weather for the festivities, the 10th annual Shelby Fest Bash and Charity Cruise just kicked off near the Capitol Plaza Hotel on McCarty Street. All makes and models of cars are welcome, and all proceeds of the charity cruise go towards the American Cancer Society, and that goes till 10 o'clock tonight. And also VMP performances here from Florida. Kyle Caraway, chief organizer of Shelby Fest, says they are one of the United States' leading Mustang tuners.
They do performance enhancements on Mustangs, other vehicles as well. But cars come up, they get on the dyno, they can get a baseline horsepower reading, and then they can get the guys from VMP to do any number of things, from a flash tune on the car's computer to a supercharger swap, pulley upgrades. You know, these Mustang maniacs are a little sick with it, so, you know, they like the big horsepower numbers that.
Now, this tool behind me is one of the tools that VMP uses to measure the horsepower in these cars, and it's called a dyno jet, and it brings a lot of people out to hear the roaring of the engines of the Mustangs. And again, Shelby Fest is here tomorrow at Saturday at 8:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon on High Street near the Capitol, and that is again until 3:30 in the afternoon. Reporting live in Jefferson City, Courtney Joden, KRCG 13.
May need earplugs, I don't know.
You might.
The 14th ranked Mizzou Tigers softball team is back on home turf tonight.
And a tough loss for the Blues on the home ice last night. Rod has sports next.
What basketball video? We saw Michael Porter. Okay, well that story's not in the rundown for the practice show, so get that fixed for the. Did you read the tease? What?
Yeah, we read a Blues tease and they wrote Michael Porter.
Okay. Do you want to hide this somewhere, or I can? Someone took off with the IFB, so I won't have it. So now how do we do this? Are we on camera, or how do we? All right, we're talking about Mizzou softball first.
This is a pretty good softball team.
It is. They're ranked 14th in the nation. Pretty good. Tony's here with sports.
Yeah, they are good every year, and the regular season just about over for the Missouri softball team. In fact, they will finish the regular season this weekend. The Tigers will host South Carolina in a 3-game series that begins tonight at University Field. The Tigers have played well as of late, winning 7 straight games. Missouri comes into the night 37-12 overall. They are 12-9 in the SEC, currently in 6th place in the conference standings. SEC tournament is next week in Starkville, Mississippi. Game time tonight for the opener against the Gamecocks, 6:30. We will have the highlights for you tonight at 10. The Missouri baseball team is in Starkville tonight, hoping for better things as they take on the nation's 4th-ranked Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Tigers lost the series opener 8-2 last night. Missouri dropped to 7-15 in conference play. They'll get tonight's contest started at 7 o'clock. Big League Baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals will wrap up a 10-game homestand this weekend, hosting the Pittsburgh Pirates and former World Series hero David Freese, who makes his return to the Gateway City. The Redbirds wrapped up a 4-game set with the Phillies yesterday. Cardinals won 3 of 4 in that series. Carlos Martinez gets the start. He's 4-1 on the year. Francisco Liriano pitches for Pittsburgh. As for the Royals, they are just getting underway in Cleveland. No score in the first inning. Yordano Ventura on the mound going for his 3rd victory of the season. The Blues Stars NHL second-round playoff series is all tied up 2-2. St. Louis dropped Game 4 in overtime last night. Blues tied it up with a late goal in the second period. A power play tally from Paul Stastny, 2-2. But Dallas would win it less than 3 minutes into overtime. Cody Aiken scoring the game winner, 3-2 the final. Again, the series tied up. Game 5 in Dallas tomorrow at noon. We're basically down to a best 2 of 3 series. The Stars have home ice advantage. I believe Kermit Miller's now been to 2 Blues games this postseason. They've lost both, so I think we know what part of the problem is.
I'm clearly
You're
bad
not
luck.
back.
I will be watching the rest of the playoffs on television.
Please.
I think you staying out of the St. Louis area might be helpful.
Zach has the evening planner next. Mother's Day going to be wet.
For some, absolutely. Yeah, right now it does look like it's going to be more towards the afternoon and evening. So if you do have morning picnics, barbecues, things like that, midday activities, you're in good shape. You get towards the evening, then we're going to start running into a problem. Otherwise, a gorgeous weekend. Saturday, temperature still warm, highs near 80.
Get out of bed and get the grill out, Mom.
For that morning picnic.
That's our report. Thanks for joining us.